the Director of Public Prosecutions South Gauteng had decided that the following people, my lord, be charged, which is number 1, Longwe Twala, number 2, Kelly Khumalo, number 3, Gladness Khumalo, number 4, Zandi Khumalo, number 5, Tumelo Madlala, number 6, Mthokozi Sitwala, number 7, accused 7, it's Maggie Piri, my lord. The accused, whose name I've just read into the record, my lord, who acted as perpetrators or accomplice or accessory after the fact, unlawfully and intentionally killed Senzo Meyiwa, an elderly person, by shooting him.
So the defense is demanding answers about why her client is in the dock instead of the people who were inside the house on the night that Senzo Meyiwa was killed. The former National Director of Public Prosecutions says the NPA must explain.
Immediately, the DPP has taken a decision to prosecute. Then the matter then gets enrolled. You know, it gets set down for trial through enrollment, and then the matter should have proceeded to be heard. Now, clearly, we didn't have such a trial based on this docket that is not before court, which might give an impression that then that decision somehow was changed. So I don't want us to really get into the realm of speculation here. I think the NPA needs to explain itself as to what actually happened. If a decision was taken, was the DPP of Gauteng South overruled and told no, not to proceed with the matter? What happened? Why was the matter then not enrolled on the basis of the contents of that docket in terms of the witness statements and the evidence, you know, that was placed before the DPP to enable, you know, the prosecutor to take a decision on the matter? It seems quite strange, and it does require an explanation. And I think the NPA, you know, it is in the interest of the public, and then also in the interest of the NPA itself to explain itself on this matter.
Well, AfriForum says the late provision of crucial documents is suspect.
I just cannot understand why it was never shared with the prosecutor and or why it was then not disclosed to the defense. Well, and also why it was never disclosed to the investigating team that investigated the murder matter. Now, certainly if we know all that, then the inference is proper that there is some kind of hidden agenda that hasn't come to light yet, and or an attempt to derail the trial. I understand people saying that the NPA will have to explain, but all they have to explain, as far as I'm concerned, and let me just, as part of a disclaimer, indicate I'm a prosecutor, and that's all I ever want to be, and that's a prosecutor. So if I look at this, the facts as a prosecutor. All they have to explain is the failure to disclose if they had to disclose. The failure or to explain why they haven't decided to prosecute on the other docket is not relevant at all. They've decided to prosecute on this particular docket, on this particular case docket. They decided to prosecute, they drafted an indictment. If some other prosecutor in the Johannesburg office decided that he thought other people should be prosecuted, that's his view. The only relevant document we have is the signed indictment in this court. And as far as the jurisdiction is concerned, I was in court when the jurisdictional issues were discussed, and certificates to establish jurisdiction in this particular court was handed up. So I don't think that there's any jurisdictional issues, but certainly, Griselda, if there were jurisdictional issues, that should have been sorted out at pre-trial process, during the pre-trial process. To wait and to use all these things that should have been sorted out in the pre-trial process, for it to come up now, doesn't impress me at all.
While another postponement has not caught the Meyiwas off guard, they say the people inside the house when Senzo was killed should have long been called to answer.
Well, from the beginning kahle kahle labantu athi bebale bekufanele ngabe vele kade babuze umbuzo. Angazi ukuthi yini le bevinjwa kangaka ukuthi bangabuza because yenzeka phambi kwabo.
Senzo Meyiwa says the people in the house should have long been called to account. She's asking why they were not called, yet this tragedy happened in front of them. She says something is being hidden. She says they continue to live their lives, yet they as a family are stuck. The former prosecution head also says the NPA needs to take the public into its confidence about why the trial is being heard in a different jurisdiction to where the crime was committed.
One would have expected the matter to be heard in Johannesburg and not Pretoria. So the NPA needs to explain itself as to why is this matter heard in Pretoria and not in Johannesburg.
While the matter returns to court on Monday, Criselda Lewis, SABC News in Johannesburg.